Ketu in the fifth house. Ketu in the fifth house is a placement where the individual has a lot of innate talents, but those talents are not going to come out. They're not going to be expressed readily unless and until the individual pursues recognition, alliances, friendships. Why? Because you have Rahu in the 11th. Now obviously, Rahu in the 11th is not a journey that starts as soon as you're born. In the early years of your life, you are more than likely to stay on the Ketu side of the chart. Unless you have some sort of a placement or unless you have Rahu mahadasha, if that's what you're born into. Because early on in life, the soul is still more familiar with the set of experiences that it has accumulated over many lifetimes compared to the experiences that it has come here seeking. There's very little knowledge of the latter. So Ketu in fifth house people early on in their life, they are going to want to be the center of attention. They will always know that there is something special about me. I don't know what it is, but there's something special about me. They will find themselves in a lot of different opportunities in which they shine, in which they are recognized. Studying may or may not be something that really appeals to you. It is quite possible that you can tolerate studies, you can tolerate research, you can tolerate all of the things that you have to do where you have to apply your mental capacities only to an extent, only to as much as is necessary. Pretty soon, by the time you're 18 or 19, is when you begin to realize, man, I probably have more fun with life if I just went after making the big bucks, if I just went after, doing something that will bring me across a lot of different people, rather than just focusing on these topics which are too cerebral, which are too intellectualized. So Ketu in fifth can give you this disconnect from applying your mind too much to things. But you need to understand that since it's Ketu and since it is showing the journey of your soul through previous lifetimes, Ketu in the fifth also shows that you have a natural intelligence. You have a natural adaptability to any position of power or any position of limelight in which you are placed. This is why you will see a lot of actors, a lot of musicians, a lot of artists with this placement. I think the best example is Matt LeBlanc. Matt LeBlanc, Joey from The French. I mean, come to think of it, Rahu in the 11th house is actually the house of friendships, and Matt LeBlanc, he built his entire career, how everybody knows him and remembers him mostly through this persona as a good friend. And I was also watching, Matt's interview one day, and he said that, early on I was good at a few things, hands-on kind of things, manual things, carpentry, etc., etc. But, I decided that I'm going to go to the film industry and try my hand at that. And his mom asked him, do you know anything about films? He said, no, I'm just going to go and I'm going to figure it out. And so Robert Downey Jr., I think he also has this placement. There are a lot of film stars, a lot of actors who have this placement. And one thing that is common about them is they all started their life as natural performers, natural artists, child artists also in a lot of cases. The thing, however, here is that you will bring your unique expression to anything that you do. You want all the good things in life. You want all the support, you want all the recognition, you want all of that. But with Ketu in fifth, it's kind of a handicap that you have. And good or bad, it's up to your interpretation. With Ketu in fifth, the handicap is your unique flavor is going to be imparted to whatever it is that you pick up. Because even though Ketu in the fifth house is essentially a Pitri dosh placement, And to know more about Pitri Dosh, you can check out my video that I've made on this topic. It's essentially a Pitri Dosh placement. Fifth house is the house of good deeds from previous lifetimes. And Ketu being put here definitely guarantees that you are here to express something specific into the world. You will feel like a king. You will feel like, I deserve more praise, I deserve more respect, I deserve more attention. You will naturally walk into scenarios and situations in life, even if, let's say, you're in the corporate sector, and find yourself in placements where taking the limelight is what is the key to you getting the kind of money, getting the kind of recognition, getting the kind of friendships, getting the kind of contacts that you want. It's karmic. Time and again, you will somehow have to step into the limelight. Another great example that I can share for this placement is Swami Vivekananda. Okay? Swami Vivekananda was the first person to go to the US, address the congregation of religions. I think it was, World Religious Congress, that's what it was called. It was the first time that all the religions of the world, they're coming together, and it was the entire idea was to organize such a congregation to inspire world peace. And it is over there that Swami Vivekananda actually shined as a person. He shined as an individual. The reason that so much of the world remembers him is because of the speech that he delivered and the manner in which he delivered that speech. How he was the only person in that entire congregation of speakers speaking for the religions who started his speech with brothers and sisters of America. Why is that? Karmic. Ketu in the fifth can also show a lot of yogic gifts that you have from previous lifetime, because fifth house is also ancient history. Fifth house is also mantras, your havans, the offerings that you make to gods, etc. All things that are of a occult sort of a research sort of a nature. They are eighth, yes, but they're also fifth, because the fifth deals with these ancient scripts that we have across religions. So if you have Ketu there, it's quite possible that you are naturally drawn to some mantras. You're naturally drawn to some books. You're naturally drawn to some specific subjects. And you have no reason, you have no clue, like how the hell am I feeling so comfortable with it? That's because Ketu is unlocking that knowledge for you in this lifetime to use and utilize in the pursuit of your Rahu. Okay? So if you have Ketu in the fifth house, I know you'd be drawn, first of all, to invest in the stock market. But that is not the route that you are supposed to take. Remember, this is something that you have to rely on. But you have to rely on this as a last resort. What you truly have to learn in this lifetime is to consciously develop your Rahu in the 11th, which is to meet new people, develop new sources of income, develop new collaborations, new alliances, new ways of doing things, new ideas. Okay, that is what you're here to do. Ketu in the fifth can give a person quite a solitary mindset in which they're trying to create and build their own life with their own effort, in their own way, in their own shell, and you can go into a complete creative frenzy with it, which is awesome. But understand, no painting, no piece of art, no work of art is worth anything if you don't bring it out there for the world to see. The more you step out in the world, you'll be able to come back home, come back to your office, come back to your work table, come back to your thinking board, planning board, and conceptualize ideas that are truly going to make a difference in this world. The trick is This is not what you have to prioritize. This is something that now that I have conveyed to you, you have to keep it at the back of your mind. How can you do it? Through mantra sadhana, yoga, regular journaling. Journaling can be something that can be great for you. You can check out the series that I've made on journaling here as well. If you're new to it, you don't know what it means, how to, go about it. You can check that out as well. The more you express your ideas, and the ratio should be 30-70. 30% expression, 70% going out there, making it work. Finding people. Let's say you have the idea for a great movie script. Go out, find people. Find the person who's going to work the lights, who's going to work the camera. Find the person who's going to, arrange for the costumes and everything. Get to work. You have some great ideas that you are blessed with. But those ideas are not going to manifest if you do not go and you do not put them out there. So Ketu in the 5th house, all in all, it's a great placement. It's called a Pitri Dosh placement because it does give you problems with respect to children, and it does give you problems with respect to there not being sufficient support, from father figures in your lifetime. You will find that a lot of ideas that, for example, in the case of Swami Vivekananda, he did not have a father. Okay. And you will often find yourself lonely. You will often find yourself, contemplating the basics of life. But where you need to truly awaken this energy within you is you need to understand that you have a very incisive mind. It's like it's like a cheetah. You have a quick mind, quick intelligence, but it cannot endure more than a point. Whenever you want to rely on it, your intelligence, your judgment, your mental faculties are going to be there for you. But that's not what you're here to do. You're here to rely on other people. You're here to work with other people. You're here to create big systems which go far beyond just the individual, just one person. Okay? So now, often what happens is Ketu Mahadasha comes along and you start getting problems with this placement. A common problem that people can get with this placement is, you can face problems with progeny. You can face problems with children. For example, Matt LeBlanc, with him as well, his daughter, I think, got incredibly sick and he had to take time off work, off acting just to care for her. This is something that can happen. And I think in Robert Downey Jr.'s case as well, his son also encountered problems with drug abuse, etc., etc. So often these things can come along, and when this happens, this usually happens to you because you're over relying on Ketu. Obviously, your children, everybody, who's connected to you, they have their own destinies, they have their own lives, they have their own charts, they have their own, soul's purpose. I'm trying to help you understand this from your perspective of what in your karma is causing these events to take place so that you can correct the energy at your end. At your end, whenever problems related to the 5th house start cropping up in your life, failed relationships, romantic affairs can also be seen through this. Inability to complete your education can also be seen through this. You can see a lot of dropouts with this placement as well. You can see a lot of intelligent people as well, but that involves other placements. So how you have to go about harnessing this energy is to understand you are a cheetah. You are a jaguar. You can function in short bursts of expression. If you try to extend this energy further than it can aid you, that's when the negative side of Ketu is going to start expressing itself. Okay, this is something that you need to keep in mind. So for example, if you still need to study and you're not able to keep your mind focused on one thing, nobody said you should go out and do 3-year degree programs or 2-year degree programs or 4-year degree programs. Do certifications, 3-month certification, 5-month certification. Okay, there are a lot of certifications that you can take. There are a lot of tests that you can give whose scores you can leverage into doing whatever you want to in your career. That's the way forward. If you're writing a novel and it just doesn't seem to get completed, break it down into short stories, short form content. Start going about it in that fashion. and it's going to start working out for you. But definitely do bear in mind, if you have this placement, stepping into the limelight in some way, some shape or form, stepping into the center stage is destined for you. The thing that you need to understand is, this is not what you have to prioritize. You have to keep on becoming more and more conscious of these abilities, keep on tapping into these talents, but you have to prioritize what is happening with Rahu in the 11th, which is looking for opportunities that excite you, looking for projects that excite you, looking for people that are able to bring out the best from you. Okay, Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramhans is the person who saw that in him, who saw that power in him and was able to draw it out. Matt LeBlanc, I don't think he would have been half as good as Joey if it weren't for great performances by everybody else in that series. Okay, so this is something that you need to understand, and I hope this was useful. If it was, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. I post a ton of content. Go check all of that out, check out the playlists, push the bell icon so that you can be notified every single time I post. If you want a personal session with me, you can do so by the link given in the description box. It's going to take you to my website. You have to fill up a form. Once I get the form, I'll get back to you with the date and time and we'll take it further from there. Okay? Thank you so much. Hari Om.